A woman from Fremont known for rescuing neglected pets is facing criminal charges for allegedly taking in dogs without a license.
Her attorney calls it government gone too far, while a police investigator alleges a state law has been violated.
And Mike McKnight tells us one defendant is no stranger to animal rescue controversy.
After taking several dogs she claimed a breeder neglected.
She's dehydrated.
Last year, Ray Tuff watched Madison County search her Grant's Wishes Rescue for evidence the pets had been stolen.
My heart was in the right place trying to save these dogs.
Tuff says she proved paying for the dogs, but now she faces charges in a separate case, this time accepting dogs from a California rescue.
They were very well aware that I was not running a rescue. They were transferring dogs here to help find them homes. I mean, and that's what it comes down to, is we were all trying to make these dogs safe.
But in an affidavit supporting 2 misdemeanor arrest warrants, a Fremont officer alleges Tuff couldn't take in any dogs because she no longer has a Nebraska Ag Department license to operate a rescue.
If there's some technical issues about who has a license to do this or who has a license to do that, I think that overlooks the bottom line is who's taking care of these dogs and making sure that they're not dead. And that's my client.
Tuff's 63-year-old mother, who assisted her in caring for the dogs, bonded out after being arrested for a misdemeanor violation of allegedly operating an animal rescue without a state license.
Oh, it makes me very upset. It's government overreach is what this is.
In the past, Tuff led a protest outside the state office building and joined a confrontation with an Ag Department official on a complaint about a breeder. I talked to the investigating officer who says these charges have been filed after a complaint by that California rescue led to a Fremont police investigation finding no license on file with the state. The affidavit for arrest alleges that Tuff admitted to a police officer that she's still running a rescue months after no longer having a license. The officer says the Nebraska Ag Department only confirmed no license and did not have any other involvement in the investigation.
They misinterpreted that I was a rescue when I was very clear that I wasn't.
Tuff says she kept Booney because the California rescue missed an appointment to pick up the dog, but that led to a second count against her for misdemeanor theft by deception.
The evidence just isn't there to show that you did anything other than take this problem dog in and try to give the dog a home to avoid it being euthanized.
Attorney Paraga says the law has been unfairly unleashed against his client. On your side, Mike McKnight, 6 News.
Both Tuff and her mother are free on bond. The Nebraska Department of Agriculture says the investigation was led by the Fremont Police Department and charges were filed by the Dodge County attorney. So the Ag Department won't comment on a case they say is not theirs.